Hey, what's up, guys? Anthony here for Rev3 Games, and we are at the Square Enix booth where we just saw a demo of Tomb Raider. I'm here with Brian, who's the senior art director on the game. This is a very different-looking Tomb Raider, man. I feel like I'm maybe not going to see a giant statue of Thor in this one.
I don't think you're going to see that, no.
So this is a more grounded sort of real-world vision of the Tomb Raider series. I'm fighting a lot of regular old dudes. I'm seeing. I'm on an island that's filled with very realistic, real-world junk. Tell me about some of the visual style that you guys were going for here.
Our number one goal was to create a Lara Croft that was as believable and grounded as we could. And the only way to make her feel grounded is to put her in a grounded place. And the people around her should feel just as believable. So all of that stuff sort of informed, through the survival filter, what we were going to do. And what you saw on stage day was sort of a continuation of what we had last year. Lara's crash landed on this island. It's this crazy place with shipwrecks all over the place. And Lara, this is the story that we're really trying to tell, where she goes from being reactive to the world to active. This is the first time we see Lara and with her first kill. So it's a big, important moment for us.
So let's talk about, first of all, the redesign visually of Lara and what you guys wanted to do. When I asked, hey, does anybody online have any questions about Tomb Raider, it was, what happened to her torso?
Once again, big part of believability is to make sure that when you look at this version of Lara, that she feels like someone you might know, someone that feels familiar. And one of those ideas was like, let's make sure that when we look at her proportionality, she just feels like someone that you would just meet across the street. The clothes are reminiscent of Lara from an iconic standpoint, with the tank top and the cargo pants and the boots, but it is much more grounded, much more believable. So all that sort of played a part of it, and she's younger, We wanted to feel youthful, and a lot of that came down to, like, all the decisions we made were wrapped up into the final result you see on screen. So far, our reaction's been very positive from the fans and non-fans alike, and they're really invested in this girl, and that's the thing, is like, we wanted people to feel something for her, and that emotion is the most important thing.
Yeah, one of the things that I love is that even though, like you said, this is grounded in a real world, in that demo in there, we saw a giant gate puzzle. We saw a very Tomb Raider-esque gate that was built by people. How do you kind of come up with the sort of obstacles that are going to work in this world?
Physics are sort of our first starting point. Like, is this something that could really be built, or is practical to be built? The door that you were referring to in our demo was built on top of like this sort of like metal gate put on top of an ancient Japanese sort of shrine space. So what we wanted to do is to make a comment that someone's come in here and sort of augmented the space. Yes, there is a turn, something you turn to open this up, but at the same time, it's not one of your find the 4 keys and kind of activity. It's much more about, all right, I have an obstacle in my way. I have to upgrade my my pry tool just to create enough torque to open up this gate. So it became a little bit more about an activity teaching our salvage system, which is another big feature that we have in the game, and how that upgrades our tools. So everything sort of comes back to that, and how the tools are also a reflection of how Lara is getting stronger as a character.
Yeah, and in addition to that sort of leveling up your tools, you're also leveling up her skills, and she's kind of learning survival skills as you go. How did you, as sort of the art director, work with the team that's designing the island? Like, one of the things I saw is you can trace rivers back up to a waterfall you saw before where you knew you built a base camp. How closely did you work with kind of level designers to kind of make that look like a real island?
It's hand in hand. We have some of the most talented developers, I think, in the industry right now, and we're a partnership. There's not one person responsible for the look or for the design, and our artists and designers are sort of interdisciplinary. They work and sit right next to one another. So when we came up with that space, we said, well, what can we do that's natural to the environment, that's going to allow players to know where to go? We came up with the waterfall stream idea, saying, hey, if they just trace their way back up the stream, they'll always know where base camp is. So it's our responsibility as artists, as much as it is for a designer's responsibility, to make sure the world feels as believable as it can, but also that it's going to be easy for the player to be able to know how to navigate it.
What was your favorite thing to design on this game?
My favorite thing to design, obviously, was Lara. I mean, it was a group effort. It was many people involved in that. But Tomb Raider's been one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, I love this game. I have a lot of reverence for that character. So when I was given an opportunity to work on this game, the first thing I thought of was, well, which direction do you guys want to go? And when their vision sort of met what my aspirations were for where I hoped Tomb Raider would go, I was like, sign me up. And that was the first thing I did. Is like, yeah, man, I am going to get to be a part of reinventing, one of the greatest icons of video game history. So yeah, it was a thrill.
Right on. Well, the demo and everything that we've seen so far looks amazing. So you guys are doing a wonderful job. Thanks a lot, man. Remember, we have more Tomb Raider impressions, footage, everything else for you here on the channel, and a lot more E3 stuff coming up later this week. So be sure you're subscribed.